when her masters saw that the hope of their gain, their money making finances, was gone, they seized Paul and Silas and dragged them into the marketplace before the rulers. I wonder what this looked like. I didn't say this.
I'm going to comment on that.
Go ahead.
That is like even today, especially today, where really corporations are calling the shots. At least America, WEF, all that. That you start messing with their business, their money, they're gonna pull you out, pull you away, put you in jail. You know what I mean? They're running the show even today, like they were right here in Scripture. It pretty much says messing with their business. So they got upset and, hey man, we can't have him over here. You guys got to go. We're gonna have to lock you up, silence you. You know what I mean? Cancel you out. So that's the same today.
You actually bring up a good point that sparks a thought in my mind. A great a political move is to attack the finances of whoever you want to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Stop supporting them. Stop buying, whether it's
Boycott.
whether it's Starbucks, whether it's PayPal. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Like even brother Kyle brought this up, like not liking what PayPal is about, some of their things with LGBTism plus or whatever the case may be, and for me to find an alternative. So like um Cash App, things like that, Zelle, whatever. I have Zelle. But it's things like that. Like if we really want to get in the mindset of spiritual warfare, and we would want to turn up the battle up a little bit of being offensive, we could literally stop financially supporting organizations who are for things that we know are like really attacking us, like this COVID stuff and anything, about, violating our freedom and our rights. Like if we feel like there's organizations that are playing a big role in this, like BlackRock, Bill Gates, right? Like there's people and organizations that if we were really serious about it, we would pull away, and then we would probably see more change. Political people operate that way too. A lot of politicians, they're people pleasers. They're people pleasers. They'll make promises, they'll make empty promises. They don't care as long as they're getting a following. As soon as you spot them out and you stop supporting them, you don't send money to them, you don't support their campaigns, you might start seeing some change in their what they stand for. Gina or Marcus, Ram fam.
He already knows it's me, babe.
Yeah. Because when I need to say something, I'm like, yes.
But what that brought to my mind, it gave me the thought of when money, specifically, because that's what's being dealt with here, or anything becomes an idol, how that can produce blindness.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me think about when Yahusha casted out the demons and put them into the pigs, right? And the pigs went and drowned. They were begging him to leave because it messed with their finances and their livelihood. You had the Messiah right in your midst, right in front of you, and you could not see him because you were so blinded by the idolatry and the concern. So that's just really powerful to think about, like making sure as we're continuing to reflect, like, are there any other things that I might be focusing on that are blinding me to something that Yahuwah may be doing in my life, right? Something in the spiritual sense that I'm being blocked off from because I'm too focused on something else. So.
Yeah, and I'll repeat it for you. It could be anything, but finances. Are finances something that comes up when you're being confronted with needing to make a change or stop doing something that seems to support what is wrong or is wrong? Is finances coming to your mind as, can I do this? What is it gonna, that's definitely something that requires self-examination. I praise God. There's always a part of me that it's like, man, I wonder, like if I was in full-time ministry, like a lot of most ministries are, where it's like People are tithing on a regular basis. I'm preaching about tithing once a month. Like, I see these ministries that are blowing up, and I see a common pattern that they talk about tithing all the time. They collect offerings. They have a whole ceremonial process to collecting money every single service. And I see the template. I see the business plan. I see it. And I'm like, it works. Financially, it works. But what happens when there's a need for a doctrinal upgrade? I've been wrong about a certain doctrine, and I need to bring it to the ministry. That stronghold of finances coming in on a regular basis, that flow of income, knowing in your spirit that that thing can definitely significantly change if I make this announcement. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with any of that. And I vow never to deal with that. I don't care. If my ministry has to go from 500 people to 100, praise Yah, as long as I'm right and I'm right with Yah and I'm going with what the Ruach is convicting me to do. And you guys know how what I've been saying before is, this I was talking to Kyle about this last night about our offense meeting we had on Shabbat that we hashed out. He was also telling me that was beautifully done. He said, man, that was like, I don't see that being done, right? And I said, like, I really do commit. Like, if there's a member in this assembly, somebody who has committed to this ministry, has put in time, has put in labor, has put in works, has put in finances, has put in, voluntary, whatever else it is, prayers, counseling. And if something was to come up, some offense was to come up, or some disagreement was to come up, everyone will hear from that member. They will not be leaving out the back door. They deserve to be heard. They earned their stripes. They earned by investing in this family. You know what I mean? And one of the things I hated about Christianity and a lot of religions is you can pour in, and when a disagreement comes up, you are out the back door. No way are you getting a microphone in your hand to talk to the church about this. And I'm like, that's crazy. So you can use my talents. I sang every Sunday for you. I sang 2 services. I sang 3. I was a pivotal part of drawing people to the altar call and to bring people to be committed through my talent, my singing, my preaching, or whatever the case may be. And a disagreement comes up and I'm silent secretly. That's not cool. So I personally made a vow that I would never be part of a ministry like that. When I became a pastor, I said, that's going to be a principle that I would like to use. We had a brother in this ministry that had a different Shabbat, started believing in a different Shabbat day during the week. And I told Kyle, I allowed us to have a Zoom meeting and allowed him to present his case. And after he presented his case, I said, take a vote. Who wants to follow this guy with his Shabbat?
He's going off the Enoch.
Yep, he was going off of some other stuff and nobody agreed. I said, brother, I don't know what to do with that. It was a new situation for me. I didn't know how to move forward from it. Like, what do we do now? Because now our weekly, and I'm going to go on a little tangent here and I'm going to go back to the study, but
Just say, brother, you went to the churches at.
I just feel in the spirit, this is a time to talk about this. Shabbats. Shabbat attendance it's doctrinally a commandment. One of the purposes of the Sabbath, Yahuwah said it in the Torah, is that it is a solemn, it is a holy convocation. It is a set apart gathering. That is part of the definition of what a Sabbath is. It's about resting, physically resting from our work during the week, but it is also, if you were to put a definition next to what is the Sabbath, it's a day of rest. It's a weekly day of rest, but it is also a weekly holy convocation. We can gather any time during the week. We see in the book of Acts, they were gathering daily, okay? But the Sabbath is a time of rest and a holy convocation, meaning it's a set apart gathering, meaning it's a way to gather together with other believers in a way that is not done the other 6 days of the week. That's where the word holy in front of convocation is. It's set apart. It's different. Just like the Sabbath is a holy rest. It's a different type of rest. It should stand out from the other days of the week. So likewise, gathering is also, you know, a set apart way of gathering with brothers and sisters in the faith. And so I say this to say that this is important to me. And I know that for leadership, to be a leader here, I think that that needs to be a non-negotiable. To be a leader, if you're going to be like a preacher, teacher, evangelist, apostle, bishop, whatever titles we end up manifesting in this assembly, I don't know where we're going, but I hope that we can have the fivefold ministry functioning. But elders, right, people who are going to be looked at as people who can teach and preach, and we ordain, like have an official ordination type of thing, I would expect the Sabbath to be a non-negotiable. Like, I'm sick, that's why I can't make it. I'm literally physically sick. And I would expect every other reasons, and then we can talk about this in the future, obviously, but I'm just letting you know, my heart is like, man, Sabbath is important. So when this brother came up with a Sabbath is on Tuesday or Wednesday, I was like, what do we do now, brother? Now it's like you're the infiltration of weekly fellowship has been attacked. Our unity, our oneness. We're not talking about holidays. We're not talking about 7 holidays a year. We're talking about weekly gatherings now. You're telling me is on a different day. How do we move forward together, brother?
Yeah.
How do we do this? And he eventually left. He had some other issues, but I say all that to say that I don't care about money. And I hope anybody here, if you go to a different ministry from here, praise Yah, to Yah be the glory. If this is a bridge ministry for you, a starting point, and Yah lead you somewhere else, by all means, praise Yah. But I pray that none of you go to a place that has leadership that is hooked on the money. And the money is so crucial to their ministry that, and the way to test is when problems come up. That's where the rubber meets the road. When conflict, disagreement, or offenses come up towards the leadership, how do they deal with it? That's going to tell you everything about that ministry. And I hope that everyone here, you know, would just remember these words. Don't be part of a ministry like that, because you're bound to get hurt. You are bound to get hurt, because once you become that person that's bringing up a disagreement, it's not going to go well, and it will hurt. I know how it feels. I've been hurt. I've invested. I've opened up, been transparent about my own darkness and sin to leadership, even though the leadership never opened up about their darkness to me. And then a disagreement comes up and all of that goes out the window. You know, well, I vow not to be like that. You know, everything that people have invested into this ministry goes in my memory bucket. I don't forget it. I'm appreciative of it. And if we have a disagreement, my wife will keep me in check to make sure I bring it up. Don't forget, babe. Just affirm. Just throw a little affirmation in there, please. Could you throw a couple? So, but yeah, so I don't know. This is a good topic. It's a good thing to bring up. The love of money is the root of all evil. It really is. And there's ministries that God is using. There are ministries that God, Yahuwah, is using to save souls. It's happening. But on the day of judgment, there will be lots of leaders who are first in line to be thrown off the ship of eternal salvation. But Yah's using them, though, just like he used the scribes and the Pharisees. And Yahushua said, listen to everything they say, because they are the teachers of the law. And they do have some truth. The same guys that he was rebuking is the same guys that he was saying were children of the devil, vipers. So keep that in mind. That's a common theme I've been bringing up lately. It's just been in my spirit. But this kind of exposed a little bit. Now, obviously, this is a non-believer, so it's even, the idolatry to it is even heavier. But believers are not immune to being tempted by the love of money. And just be careful about that. And hold me accountable if we ever get to that point. You guys know I don't teach on tithing. I don't preach it. I don't feel comfortable talking about it. We talked about giving a long time ago in this ministry. There's people who are guests here that never even heard me talk about it. It is what it is. If y'all puts it on your heart to financially support this ministry, by all means. And, you know, we'll talk in the future how to better improve that process and be transparent what the money's for, blah, 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 blah. All right, back to the reading. Thank you for bearing with my spontaneity, but that was in my spirit to talk about. That was very good. Thank you, D-Rail, for staying there. So, but
Thank you
when
for acknowledging that I'm dealing with it.
What was that?
Thank you for acknowledging that I'm dealing with it. Your spontaneity.
That you're dealing with it?
Yeah.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Because I love you. Because I love you.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience.